Welcome back to Entertainment Files, your local fix. Now, I got to sit down with one dapper rapper.
Not only dapper, but a hip-hop artist that is all about the lyrics and the storytelling.
He's on his way to tour France right now, but that's enough from us. Let's get right into the chat.
Langa my undying compadre. Yeah. Jubilino Ligamo.
Solo, welcome to the show. Thanks so much for joining us in studio. Let's first start with the name Solo.
Yeah.
Why choose that name?
I mean, I started rapping when I was a really, really young kid, you know, all the way in primary school. And at the time, the thinking behind it was, obviously by definition, the music definition being a piece of music that's not assisted by anything. So as soon as I learned that definition, I found that very intriguing. And also it was something that in my school specifically, you had like these groups of kids who were much older than me who were all part of these cliques who would rap during like first break and second break, and we'd all huddle around them and kind of listen to them rap. And because I didn't have a clique and I stood myself, I went with the name Solo, and that stuck. So it's been well over 20 years.
And here you are, still stuck with that Solo name, and it fits you perfectly. Would you say that your past experiences and where you come from have shaped the music that you make today?
Yeah, absolutely. I think more so as somebody who is really anal about lyricism. You know, you really then have to draw from every aspect that assists in storytelling. Nothing better than your own personal experiences to draw from, I think. So yeah, I think every experience, and even those that you know, I kind of experienced vicariously through, let's say, my older brother, my friends, and my family and such, definitely aid in putting stories together.
Now, I understand that you studied accounting.
I did.
And then went off into music. How did that happen?
Yeah, so I mean, obviously this is many years ago now, but I think much like any other person kind of leaving high school, you're still a kid. I think you're 17, 18. I was 17 when I matriculated, so you know, to make a long-term life decision at that time is kind of the expectation, which, you know, when I think about it now, seems a little backwards, you know, to entrust such a heavy decision on such a young person, I think. And, you know, obviously my decisions at the time were very much governed by, you know, I guess people who'd come during like career days at school and would be like, you know, these are the professions that really make money, and that was the only decision. I mean, I could do it. I was always good at math. I was always good at, I was book smart also. So I just figured then it's naturally something that, you know, would pay. And that was all the decision was based on, which completely had a disregard for my passion.
Now, what I love about you is that you are very much all about storytelling.
Yes.
And as you said earlier, lyrics, which I feel like hip-hop these days isn't really interested in that anymore. Why would you say that?
Look, I think the interest in storytelling was something that, in the inception of hip hop, and I'm talking not obviously this is an adopted genre of music, but even in the States, the care for the lyricism was a very early part of hip hop. I don't think this is a new trend that people don't necessarily care for lyricism as much as they used to. I think that's been the going on trend for a long time, and much like any other genre, it's an evolving genre. I just happen to be an artist who fell in love with a specific aspect.
Let's talk about evolution. Your first EP entitled No Shades of Grey. How would you say your music has evolved?
So, I mean, No Shades of Grey was made in 2010. It's a good 8 years ago. So that puts me at about age 21, 22 at the time. And you know, obviously, and you know, when I listen back to it, when I listen back to the earlier stuff, it has a sense of vulnerability in it. There's also a lot of ignorance, just in terms of what this industry is and what it takes and all of that. But a very, very hungry kid, you know, very passionate, very hungry, and I think I still have that fire. Obviously, I know a lot more. There are a lot of things that I've kind of ticked off, at least on my list now, their accolades, you know, awards that have come and things of that nature. So I think I just sound like my growth now. I sound, you know, if I listen to projects now, I'm more focused. I understand what I stand for. You know, I'm not as nervous. It's just things like that. And I think that just comes with personal development and growth. You know?
Is there anything more that you want to achieve?
Oh, absolutely.
Anything in particular that stands out for you?
You know, I think it isn't necessarily. I'm not looking for. This isn't ticking things off a bucket list anymore, as much as it is an excitement to see what it is I develop into. Because I did kind of learn to let go and follow the artistic direction.
And when did you learn that? Because that's quite a difficult thing to overcome.
You're right. You're absolutely right. I think probably in the last 2 years, where I can say I confidently now was able to shed the concerns of the comparison and the wanting to kind of create something that speaks to a larger audience, whereas, you know, today I want to speak to an existing audience and grow that audience organically. These are things that come with time, you know. And like I said, I think it's more human growth and development now that I sound like, because that for me today is what governs the artistic expression. I let the growth dictate. And if I wake up tomorrow and, you know, lyricism isn't necessarily my priority, then that's what I grew into, you know. And there's something, you know, scary about that, but there's something exciting about it as well.
Indeed. Now, you've collaborated with a lot of amazing artists, Tumi and the Volume, Proverb. Anyone that really stood out for you, and if you could choose to collaborate with anyone in the world, who would that be?
Look, I'm one artist who has a number, like I have a large list of features that I've already been able to tick off. Some of my favorite artists I've already done collaborations with, you know, the likes of your KOs, your Zions. The list is really long. I think today it really speaks to the space I'm in, and if the music kind of suggests an artist to me versus having this wish list.
Oh, right.
I think that's what it is today, because if it isn't organic and it doesn't make sense, it won't translate anyways. A feature today that I'd really probably care for, either locally or internationally, would probably be, I mean, I've always idolized a Jay-Z. That's probably a cliche answer today, because there's so many of us who've cared for his career. But I think, yeah, if wishes were horses, that would probably be the name.
Yeah. And then lastly, before we let you go, I understand that you're going to France really soon. Tell us the reason for going to France and how that came about.
So essentially, Solar and the Better Gang, which is actually the band name in the collective, we recently, last week actually, released an EP, a 5-track EP called Tour Dates France Edition. De Date de Tournée is the French term, and we kind of we always had this plan of creating this French influenced project. It's actually influenced by an artist, an impressionist named Edgar Degas from France, and you know, the EP kind of it draws inspiration from that, and we always felt that, you know, if we were able to actually execute this project right, we'd love to be able to tour it in France, and the opportunity came. So in a few days we leave for France. We'll be there for 2 weeks, performing in Bordeaux, in Paris, and in Nantes as well.
Wow, so exciting.
So it's really dope. It's a very exciting time.
That really is amazing. Now, you're also called the Dapper Rapper because of all your style awards. Has style always been a part of you?
I think so. I think, you know, I think style is one of those things that you kind of realize you really have as the validations keep coming and coming and coming and coming. Then you're like, oh, I guess
I'm good at this.
I am good at this. You know? So it's something that's really cool, because I guess you kind of stumble on it, and like I said, the validation is what kind of puts you in these conversations. I mean, myself and my partner won the SA Style Award last year for Best Dressed Couple, which is pretty cool. So yeah, I think you know, I didn't necessarily have to change anything about my style for me to kind of get get these accolades and you know, get this confirmation. But so I guess that alone just kind of dictates that we've always had this style thing in us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Solo, for coming into
Thank you for
studio.
having
We
me.
really appreciate it. That was hip-hop artist and dapper rapper himself, Solo, in our studio. He's a man who is changing the industry with his lyric-driven music from the streets of South Africa and now on its way to France.
So while Solo is in France living his best life, we thought we'll help you out with the weekend plans.
That's right, let's check out the gig guide.
And starting off in Gauteng on Friday, get ready for some singing and dancing with the Broadway musical Sarafina at the Joburg Theatre. Then for a family outing, head on to the Ticket Pro Dome and go on an adventure with all the Disney princesses in the Disney on Ice Stream Big Show.
On Saturday, get ready to rock it out with local musician Jack Pyro live at Rumours. Or keen to laugh out loud? Then join Chris Forrest and his hilarious lineup at a comedy night held at Rand Park High.
Now to end off your weekend, enjoy a Soul Sunday at Bruce Bar and Comedy Club and combine live music with some great food or catch radio reps and a one-man show at Emperor's Palace that is sure to make you laugh.
Taking a look at things to do this weekend in the Western Cape. Now on Friday, start your weekend off by watching some comedy with the Cape Town Comedy Club, where the headline act will be Brent Palmer, or indulge in an evening of quality South African music and heritage by watching the Echoes of Sophiatown.
Now on Saturday, get ready to laugh at a comedic compilation of monologues, duologues and scenes taking on the hilarious, awkward, embarrassing and completely normal experiences about dating, mating and relating to the world that has to offer or enjoy a spectacular musical version of Alice in Wonderland at the Canal Walk Theatre.
Then on Sunday, watch some beautiful ballet with the Fugard Bioscope World Art Cinema season called The Flames of Paris, or end your weekend off with the Vortex Phoenix Festival of Fire, an outdoor music festival with a fabulous lineup of international and local DJs.
And with that, we've come to the end of the show. What will leave you with one of the most anticipated movie releases of the year, Ocean's 8.
A film with a star-studded all-female cast about a revenge heist orchestrated by Debbie Ocean. Her team comprises of a has-been tax-evading fashion designer, a diamond expert, a stoner hacker, a pickpocketing, motor-mouthed teenager, and a bored stay-at-home mother.
All their plan is to steal a Cartier necklace from the unsuspecting neck of an actress at the Met Gala.
If you're a fan of the Ocean's movies, then this one is definitely one for you. Remember to tweet and Facebook us using the hashtag Entertainment Files. See you next week for your local fix.
In 3.5 weeks, the Met will be hosting its annual ball. And we are going to rob it. Not the ball itself.
On the neck of Daphne Kluger.
Valued at over $100 million.
It's 150 million, actually.
Revenge. It's a twofer.
Do not run a job in a job.
Taylor Swift? Can't we just go to this? Do we have to steal stuff?
Yes.
Is it genetic? Are the whole family like this?
Literally.